Deep Dive with David Stendhal, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey, it's David Stendhal with tonight's Deep Dive. It is April 10th, 2018. We're looking at Hogs tonight, lean Hogs. The ETF is HOGS. We've got kind of a strongish trend to the downside despite the little pop that we've seen as of late with the short, intermediate, and long-term trends all pointing to the downside. But we do have the technicals starting to be a little more bullish and popping the upside. Nothing is showing up here in the seasonal tendencies, but that will make sense in a second here. When we look at the pro alerts, there's a lot that's been taking place here, and we just recently did a workshop where we talked about at least some, not all, but some of the different pro alerts we have, and we're making them available on the TradeStation platform. So you don't need us to be able to show these. These will actually show up on your TradeStation platform if that's something that you're interested in. So just recently we had 5 alerts. The 4 represents 4 trading days ago. The 2 in this case represents 2 trading days ago. So we've had some recent profitability, taking some money off the table alerts, and then we had some reversals that have occurred as well. So if we take a look at the market as a whole, you can see that the market has been selling off for quite some time. We've been short, taking advantage of this little sell-off. But we had some earthquakes that popped up. We had some profit-taking alerts here. We had a keel low that occurred here. Then we started getting a couple that were triggering on top of one another, where we had a day's low, which is what the circle represents. That's a reversal. We had the little plus that's in there as well, which is telling you to continue to take profits if able. This is the green circle. That one in this particular case is looking for a stretch low. And underneath there we have a pulse low. And then the next day we actually have a doubt low. So a lot of conditions, low, 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 low. That's what they're all pointing to. They're all telling us to look for the profitability to take off some positions. So big picture, what's actually taking place here? If we come back here to this particular thing, this is only to go back 5 trading days. So the most you'll ever see is a 5 in these circles. And so for the last 4 trading days, we've been seeing low, 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 and telling you that you should be taking some profits. Let's take a look at the market and get a feel for what's taking place here. I'm going to show first a 5-year seasonal tendencies to the market, which is a little more dramatic. The blue line represents the last 5 years and the conditions that make up the seasonal tendencies, if you will, to lean hogs. You can see that even though when we were looking at the deep dive, it wasn't showing anything on the seasonals, that's because it's a little premature, but soon here we're going to see some major strength. You can see a major pop to the market. This is on the 5-year charts. On the 10-year charts, it's not as dramatic, but there is a pop that's coming here, at least according to the seasonal charts, and you can see that a trend should be on a bullish side all the way until late in June. So there's ample time, but just realize that that low, all of those pro alerts that we're talking low, low lows and looking for a base, they lend itself well to the market, showing that the market does want to actually head a little bit higher. So the systems as a whole, if you look at all of the different markers we've been trading, we have been short. We're currently hedged. I'll show you that in a second. But we've got a nice profit. We've been taking some profits because it was up to around 70 grand or so. That the systems right now have us about 43,000, I think it is, and we've got a hedge that's going on right now. And if we take a look at the systems, we have in cattle, we're flat the market, no systems whatsoever, flat, 0 open profit. But when we look at hogs, we're hedged, so they look the same, but they're not. So we're hedged. We have long 2, which means we've got 2 systems that are long. short two, the S2. We have two systems that are short. You have two long, two short in the same account, even though the account shows us as being flat, zero contracts. We know that we have two systems that are long and two systems that are short. And given that sell-off that we were looking at, we got an open profit of $43,000 within the meat sector. So when you're looking at this particular market, the systems have done well because if we come back to this phase, while the market's been selling off and all of these pro alerts having triggered, it has helped us to protect ourselves, to protect our systems. The market's been selling off. We've been short. We were doing quite well. And it's during this particular phase that the markets have triggered some long positions based on a lot of these low conditions in the pro alerts. And that being the case, we're in a position where we're flat the market. Well, technically hedged the market, and we're not in any risk whatsoever. And what we're looking for is for the market, as I was alluding to with the seasonal tendencies, for it to get a little bit closer to that seasonal pop to the market, and that in theory would have our short systems begin to unwind, theoretically have more long systems trigger. That would then get us from a flat hedged position to long to short, more to few more long, fewer short the market, and eventually none of them short and will outright just simply be along the market. So that's the way that we go about trading. We're never just long or short. For the most part, we take our times in basing periods. We'll eventually go long after some type of a hedging, get rid of the shorts, go long the market, and will be interesting to see how things kind of play out here with hogs in particular. So you got the seasonal tendencies pointing in the right direction, the pro alerts with all of these alerts that have just recently triggered. I've only shown in the deep dive the ones that go back at least 4 days, but here's a keel. You got some other conditions that have occurred as well, that during this sell-off that there's been ample time to, especially in this last surge, there's been ample time to say, okay, the market's moved completely too far in one particular direction and is likely to do some type of reversal. And that's what these circles, these dots represent. So it'll basically just give you an idea as to, one, what are the systems doing? B, what are the seasonal tendencies telling us? And three, C, what is taking place with the pro alerts? And that's why I'm showing this particular market here tonight. I've been harping on hogs a lot as of late, just because there's been a lot of action, both in the profitability of the systems and as well as the basing to the particular market. And this is a great market, and we'll do some presentations on this as to whether or not you should incorporate hogs, which is not the most liquid market, but it's better than like rough rice and lumber and some of these other markets. But for those that have a smallish account, it's a great market to incorporate into your portfolio because of its non-correlation and its non-correlation stability to a lot of the other markets that are actually out there. And we'll do whole presentations on that. But for right now, just want to give an overview to what the pro alerts are doing. If you're interested in these pro alerts, these alerts, these things that are popping up here, the pluses and the circles and the big cross pluses, things of that nature, they're available on the TradeStation platform. And if you want, you can send me an email, or you can just simply go to Value Charts Trading, all one word, so it's plural, Value Charts Trading, and you can get an idea as to how you can gain access to these particular alerts, and then gain access to some of the workshops that we're going to be doing so that you can feel comfortable with what's taking place. So thanks for watching, and we will take a look at another market tomorrow. Bye-bye.